Hi, welcome back to Maths Learning Groups. Now today we are going to look at speed lessons. So we are going to continue where we stopped the last lesson where we talked about how to draw a one-part journey. So today we are going to look at how to draw a two-part journey. So the model gets a little more advanced, a bit more progressive. So we are going to look at this problem, which is a little bit more wordy, and how do we draw out this problem. So a train move or a train travel 900 kilometers from P to Q at a speed of 150 kilometers per hour. It then moved on to Tau hour, which is 500 kilometers away at a speed of 120 kilometers per hour. So what's the time taken for the whole journey? Now you can see that now one of the ways to draw out this problem is to act it out. So by using your fingers to illustrate how the train is moving. So if you are trying to illustrate with your fingers, now your fingers will be doing something like this. The finger will move from left to right. Okay, so from P to Q, and then after that, it will continue to travel to R from Q. So it will be something like this, right? If your fingers is moving, right? So this is a two-part journey, right? From P to Q and then Q to R. And of course, we have to label where the train is going and also what is moving, which is the train. So you can see that this model or this speed distance timeline is a two-part journey, right? The first part and the second part. Okay, now if you look at the model or the speed distance timeline, now every part of the journey has a family. If you recall the last lesson, right? The one-part journey has a family also. So in this two-part journey, the first part has a family, the second part has a second family, and there is a third family for the overall, for the entire journey. So what I will do is I call it the boss. Okay, the boss family. So what does that mean? It means the family that oversee the entire journey. So the first family will take care of the first part. The second family will take care of the second part. And the boss family will oversee everything. Okay, so that's your model, right? So what is the next step that you do? Is to plug the numbers and put inside the model. For example, where do you put 900 kilometers, which is over here? And where do you put the speed of the train for the first part, which is 150 km per hour? And where do you put 500 kilometers away, which is the second part of the journey? And where do you put the speed, which is 120 kilometers per hour? And that's your second part. Okay, so your job or your next step is to put the numbers correctly in the right places. If you put the numbers in the wrong places, then you will get the wrong answer. So find the time taken for the entire journey, and your model is done. Okay, so that's your model. So if your model is well drawn, you will find that it's actually quite easy, right? And you don't really have to look at the problem to solve. Neither do you have to think very hard on what to do, right? Because the model will actually guide you. So how does the model guide you? The model guides you by telling you to find the missing blanks. Can you find the missing numbers? Right? For example, can you find the time for the first part? Can you find the time for the second part? And then you plus together to get the total time. All right, so let's do that. So you will need to know your triangle. So distance is speed multiplied by time. And how to find time? Time is equal to distance divided by speed. So which is 900 km divided by 150 kilometers per hour. All right, so if you recall the last lesson, it's important that you put the units inside the steps so that you can check to see whether the units are the same. Because if you don't put the units in the steps, then you will not be able to check and then you get the wrong answer. So once the units are the same, then you can divide. So you use calculator and you get 6 hours. And whatever you have worked out, you put inside the model. And that's your 6 hours for the first part of the journey. So what's the time taken for the second part? So you have distance divided by time. So your 500 kilometers divided by 120 kilometers per hour. And again, you will have to what? You will have to check the units. So you take check the kilometers and they are the same, and then you divide. So you take 520, or sorry, 500, and you divide by 120, and you will get 4.1666666. Okay, now what do you do when you get a long decimal? Now you don't round off the decimal. Okay, because the question never asks you to round off any decimal. So you have to convert to fractions. So the best way, the best way to what? To get your answer is to get your fraction, right? Get your fractions, and of course in the simplest form, using calculator. So we are going to use the calculator to get the fraction. Alright, so after you have used your calculator to work out, you will get 4 and 1 over 6. Okay, 4 and 1 over 6 power. So again, don't round off decimal, don't write your answer in decimal because it's a long decimal. Alright, so finally, can you find the total time taken? So what's the total time taken? The total time taken is to add both timings. So you have 6 hours plus 4 and 1 over 6 hours. And the total time taken for the train, right, the train to travel will be 10 and 1 over 6 hours. And you can see that there are some lengths. Do we need to find the speed over here and the distance over here? Well, we don't need to do that because we got the answer already. All right, then you tell Mr. Ong, like some of you are very good in math, and then you tell Mr. Ong that, wow, so many things to write, right? There are so many steps. Okay, now methods are for what? Now, methods are for you to use when you don't know how to solve, right? When you don't know how to do, then you think about methods like the speed, distance, timeline. But otherwise, if you know how to do, then you don't have to draw all this. You don't have to use all these methods. But it's more for the weaker students, right? For students who are totally lost, they just don't know how to start or where to start. So if you don't know where to start, then you should draw the model, and it's better to have more steps. I mean, I would say that better to have more steps, but you can see that it's better to understand how to use the method, even though there are more steps, and then get the answer accurately, compared to trying to work out yourself, trying to think of how to solve the problem, and then still can't get the answer. So I will suggest to you that, yeah, it may seem there's a lot of writing here, but methods are for students or for any of you who have difficulty knowing how to start or trying to start solving. All right. So you can see that for this question, it is a two-part journey. So, and in this question, we are using this to find the total time. So in the next lesson video, we'll be looking at how to find the total distance, right, for a two-part journey. All right, so stay tuned for our next lesson video, and we will see you. Okay, goodbye.